Let me tell you about the night a janitor destroyed a CEO's entire world. With 6 words. It's a charity gala. Black tie. Crystal everywhere. Evelyn Hartwell is on top of the world, about to close the biggest deal of her career. She's celebrating. She's confident. She's untouchable. And she's bored. So when she spots the quiet janitor near the door, she decides to have a little fun. "You there?" she calls out, smiling for the cameras. "Tell us, what do you think of my billion-dollar merger?" The board members laugh. Phones come out. This is going to be hilarious. James Perez sets down his towel carefully, looks her straight in the eye. "Yeah, about that Hartwell-Novex merger. You're gonna see it crash and burn by morning." The laughter stops. Phones start buzzing. And Evelyn Hartwell realizes she just made the biggest mistake of her life. She underestimated the man no one bothered to see. This is a story about invisible intelligence, the cost of arrogance, and what happens when the powerless hold all the cards. But before we begin, dear viewer, don't overlook heroes like James Perez. Subscribe and hit the bell now, or let stories like this vanish into invisibility. Rate it out of 10 in the comments. Without your support, creators fade too. The laughter stops like someone cut the sound. Evelyn Hartwell's smile doesn't move, but something behind her eyes hardens. She sets her champagne flute down slowly, deliberately. "I'm sorry," she says, her voice dripping with amusement. "Did you just tell me, a CEO with 20 years of mergers and acquisitions experience, that my deal is going to fail? Based on what exactly?" Bathroom gossip. A few nervous chuckles ripple through the circle. Someone mutters, "This is insane." James Perez doesn't flinch. He stands there with the towel still folded in his hands, his voice steady and quiet. The injunction filing originates from the European Commission's Directorate General for Competition. It concerns Novex's Berlin subsidiary. The provisional measure will be logged into the EU's case management system at 11:47 p.m. Eastern Time. The chuckling stops. "That's in 4 hours," James continues. The filing cites Article 102 violations, abuse of dominant market position. "Your legal team hasn't been notified yet because the preliminary review was expedited under emergency protocols. Once it hits the system, your merger's 60-day approval window resets. You'll miss the fiscal quarter deadline." The deal collapses. Evelyn's jaw tightens. A board member beside her, gray-haired, expensive suit, leans forward. "How could you possibly know filing times for internal EU systems?" James looks at him calmly. "Because 3 weeks ago, I was cleaning the 14th floor conference room when your compliance officer took a call at 9:30 p.m. She was alone. She thought she was." The gray-haired man pulls out his phone. His fingers move fast. Another board member does the same. Then another. Evelyn's smile is gone now. "This is ridiculous." He's guessing. There's a second problem, James says. The room goes completely still. "Your currency hedge." James shifts his weight slightly, his voice never rising. "The merger's structured with a Eurodollar hedge to protect against exchange rate volatility. But the hedge triggers a margin call if the deal stalls overnight. Your exposure is $340 million. If the injunction files and the markets open before you freeze the merger, the margin call executes automatically." Evelyn's face drains of color. A woman in a black gown, sharp eyes, legal bearing, steps forward. "That hedge structure is confidential. How do you?" "Ms. Hartwell discussed it in the executive elevator on November 14th, James says simply. 7:20 a.m. She was on the phone with her CFO. "I was holding the door." The woman in black pulls out her phone and starts typing furiously. Phones are buzzing now. Quiet at first, then insistent. A soft vibration chorus spreading through the circle like a wave. Board members glance at screens, their faces shifting from confusion to alarm. "I need to make a call," someone mutters, stepping away. Then another, then 3 more. Evelyn stands frozen, her champagne forgotten. Her eyes lock on James. "Who are you?" James doesn't answer. The woman in black looks up from her phone, her face pale. "Evelyn, the filing exists. It's real. Someone just confirmed it from Brussels." The words land like a gunshot. A board member grabs Evelyn's arm. "We need to get legal on this now. If he's right about the margin call, he can't be right." Evelyn snaps, but her voice cracks at the edges. "He's a janitor. A janitor who knows filing times down to the minute," the woman in black says quietly. "A janitor who knows about confidential hedge structures. Evelyn, if the margin call hits, I know what happens." Evelyn's voice cuts through the room, sharp and desperate. The ballroom feels smaller now. The chandeliers too bright. The music from the orchestra too distant. James takes a single step back, his hands still holding the towel. "I'm not your enemy, Ms. Hartwell, but you have less than 4 hours to freeze that merger, or you'll lose more than money. You'll lose the people who can't afford to lose anything." Evelyn stares at him, her confidence shattered across the marble floor like broken glass. A junior executive rushes over, phone pressed to his ear, panic in his eyes. "We just got word. There's unusual activity in the Brussels regulatory system. Someone's asking if we should wake up the entire legal team." The woman in black looks at James, then back at Evelyn. "How does a janitor know this?" James meets her gaze. His voice is softer now, almost sad. "Because no one sees me, and people say everything when they think no one's listening." Evelyn's hands are shaking. She grips the edge of the table to steady herself. The most powerful woman in the room just lost control to a man holding a towel. And somewhere in the back of her mind, a terrible question is forming. If he knows this much, what else does he know? And who is he really? 10 minutes later, Evelyn Hartwell stands in a private anteroom off the main ballroom, the door closed behind her. James Perez stands near the window, still holding that folded towel. The music outside is muffled, distant. "Who sent you?" Evelyn's voice is low, controlled fury. "Goldman? A competitor? Some hedge fund trying to tank my deal?" James doesn't answer immediately. He looks out at the city lights. "This is corporate espionage." Evelyn continues, stepping closer. "Insider trading. Industrial sabotage. I don't know what you're playing at, but you just committed about 15 felonies in front of my entire board." James turns to face her, his expression calm. "I committed no crimes, Ms. Hartwell. I simply told you what I know." "How?" The word comes out sharp, desperate. "How does a janitor know filing times for EU regulatory systems? How do you know about confidential hedge structures? People speak freely around those they don't see," James says quietly. Evelyn stares at him. "That's not an answer." "It's the only answer." James sets the towel on a side table, his movements precise. 3 weeks ago, your compliance officer took a call on the 14th floor. She was reviewing the Brussels correspondence. She thought she was alone. I was emptying trash bins. He pauses, his voice steady and factual. 2 months ago, your CFO discussed the currency hedge in the executive elevator at 7:20 a.m. He assumed I wasn't listening. I was holding the door. Last Tuesday, your general counsel mentioned Article 102 concerns in a restroom while washing his hands. He didn't notice me cleaning the mirror. Evelyn's jaw tightens. "You're saying you've been spying?" "I've been invisible," James interrupts gently. "There's a difference. I don't record conversations. I don't steal documents. I just hear what people say when they forget I'm human." The words hit harder than Evelyn expects. She pulls out her phone, types quickly. "Security is running a background check on you right now. Full workup. If you're working for someone, you won't find anything," James says. "Everyone has a history." "Not everyone." Evelyn looks up sharply. "What does that mean?" Before James can answer, her phone buzzes. She glances at the screen. Her face goes pale. The message is from her head of security. Background check complete. Employment records start 15 years ago. Before that, nothing. No social media. No tax records. No education history. No birth certificate on file. It's like he didn't exist before 2010. Evelyn reads it twice, then looks at James, her voice barely a whisper. Who erases their entire past? James meets her eyes. Someone who had to. Had to. Evelyn's mind races. What did you do? What are you running from? I'm not running from anything, Ms. Hartwell. I'm standing still. There's a difference. Evelyn steps back, her hand gripping her phone. You're not just some janitor who listens well. You're trained. You know regulatory law, financial structures, legal timing. You're careful, James says softly. The word stops her cold. Another buzz. Another message. This one from her general counsel. Preliminary inquiry suggests witness protection or intelligence background. Recommend caution. Do not engage further without legal present. Evelyn's hands are shaking now. She looks at James, really looks at him, and sees something she missed before. The way he stands. The way he watches the door. The way his eyes track movement like someone trained to see threats. You're not here by accident, she says slowly. You chose this job, this building. You've been watching us. I've been working, James corrects. And yes, I listen. But I don't act unless I have to. And tonight you had to? Tonight, yes. Why? Evelyn demands. If you wanted to stay invisible, why speak up? Why expose yourself? James is quiet for a moment. Then, because your merger doesn't just affect you, Ms. Hartwell. When billion-dollar deals collapse, executives absorb the losses with golden parachutes and stock options. But the people who clean your offices, guard your buildings, serve your meals, they lose everything. Evelyn opens her mouth, then closes it. I didn't speak up to save your reputation. James continues, his voice soft but firm. I spoke up to protect people you don't see. The ones who'll be cut first when your board panics. The room feels smaller suddenly, colder. Evelyn's phone buzzes again. Her CFO. Legal just confirmed margin call risk. If we don't act in 3 hours, we're exposed. How did he know? She looks up at James, and for the first time tonight, she's not angry. She's afraid. What else do you know? She whispers. James picks up the towel again, folding it carefully. Enough to know that tonight was never about mockery, Ms. Hartwell. It was about a choice, and you're about to make one that matters. He walks toward the door. Wait, Evelyn says. I need to know who you are. James pauses, his hand on the handle. No, Ms. Hartwell. You need to decide what you're going to do. Who I am doesn't change what's coming. He opens the door, and as he steps back into the hallway, Evelyn realizes something terrifying. The janitor who knows everything might be the least dangerous secret in this building. Because if someone erased James Perez's entire past, they might still be looking for him. And if they find him here tonight, everything changes. Evelyn catches up to James in the empty corridor outside the ballroom. Her heels click against marble. Stop. Just stop. James turns slowly. I need the truth, Evelyn says, her voice urgent now. Not evasions, not riddles. The truth. Because if you're in danger, if someone's coming, I need to know what I'm dealing with. James studies her face for a long moment. Then he nods just once. All right. They move to a maintenance stairwell, away from cameras and guests. James sits on the steps, his shoulders heavy with something Evelyn can't name yet. 15 years ago, James begins quietly. I wasn't a janitor. I was a forensic financial analyst. I worked at the highest level, government contracts, international investigations, the kind of cases that don't make headlines because they're too complicated for headlines. Evelyn sits across from him, listening. I was assigned to investigate a series of charitable foundations, James continues. On paper, they were clean. Donations. humanitarian work, medical supplies for conflict zones. But the numbers didn't match. Money was flowing in, but it wasn't flowing out the way it should. His voice remains steady, factual, but something darker creeps in at the edges. I followed the trail. Offshore accounts, shell companies, fake invoices, and at the end of it, he pauses. The money wasn't funding charity, Ms. Hartwell. It was funding trafficking networks, human trafficking, the kind of evil that hides behind polished PR and black tie fundraisers just like the one happening out there right now. Evelyn's breath catches. I reported everything, James says. I documented it. I testified. I became a whistleblower. And when the operation was dismantled, when arrests were made and networks collapsed, his jaw tightens. The people running those networks didn't forget. They had resources, connections, reach. They came after you, Evelyn whispers. They came after everyone I loved, James says simply. My family went into protective relocation. My wife, my daughter. I haven't seen them in 14 years. My records were erased. My identity was buried. I was given a choice. Disappear completely or watch everyone I cared about die. The stairwell is silent except for the distant hum of the building. So I disappeared. James continues. I became no one. I learned to move through spaces without being remembered. I took jobs where people don't look twice, janitor, maintenance, security. I became invisible because invisibility is cheaper than funerals. Evelyn feels something crack inside her chest. You gave up everything. I gave up everything to stop something monstrous. James corrects quietly. That's not the same as losing. Evelyn stares at him. This man she mocked an hour ago. This man who sacrificed his name, his family, his entire life to stop evil that most people don't even know exists. Why are you telling me this? She asks, her voice unsteady. Because you asked for the truth, James says. And because you need to understand what's at stake. The people I helped put away, some of them are still out there. Some of them have long memories. And if anyone traces tonight's intelligence back to me, if anyone realizes I'm still alive and still paying attention, he doesn't finish the sentence. He doesn't have to. Evelyn stands abruptly, her mind racing. Then why speak up tonight? Why risk exposure? James looks up at her, and for the first time, she sees exhaustion in his eyes. Because I've watched your company for 3 years, Ms. Hartwell. I've seen how you treat the people at the bottom. And when I heard about this merger, when I realized what would happen to them if it collapsed without warning. He shakes his head. I couldn't stay silent. Not again. So you risked your life, Evelyn says slowly, to protect janitors and security guards you don't even know. I know them better than you think, James says. Maria in housekeeping has a son with medical bills she can't afford. David in security is 3 months from retirement. Carmen in the cafeteria sends money home to her mother in Honduras. When your merger collapses, they're the first ones cut. Not you, not your board, them. The words land like stones. Evelyn sinks back down onto the step, her designer gown pooling around her. I mocked you, she whispers, in front of everyone. I called you. You called me what most people call me, James says without bitterness. Someone who doesn't matter. Someone forgettable. You're not forgettable. No, Ms. Hartwell. I'm invisible. There's a difference. And tonight you learned why. Evelyn looks at him, really looks at him, and sees a man who gave up everything to do what was right, who chose permanent exile over complicity, who sacrificed his identity to save strangers. And she realizes with stunning clarity that she just humiliated a hero, because she couldn't see past a uniform. Her phone buzzes. Security again. Movement detected. Unregistered guest on 3rd floor. Flagging for review. James sees her screen. His expression doesn't change, but something shifts in his posture. Alert. Ready. They're here, aren't they? Evelyn asks, fear creeping into her voice. The people looking for you. James stands slowly. Maybe, or maybe I'm just paranoid after 15 years of looking over my shoulder. But Evelyn sees the truth in his eyes. He's not paranoid. He's experienced. And if someone's here, if someone's hunting, tonight just became about more than a merger. It became about survival. Why? Evelyn asks suddenly, standing with James in the stairwell. Why risk everything for people you barely know? You could have stayed silent, stayed safe. Why expose yourself for janitors and cafeteria workers? James looks at her, and for the first time, something like sadness crosses his face. Because I know what it's like to be expendable, he says quietly. When I was investigating those trafficking networks, I met people who'd been erased. Not physically, economically. They had names and families and dreams, but to the powerful people exploiting them, they were just numbers on a balance sheet. Resources to be used and discarded. He walks to the stairwell window, looking down at the city below. When your merger collapses, Ms. Hartwell, you'll hold emergency board meetings. You'll restructure. You'll protect shareholder value. But Maria in housekeeping won't be in those meetings. Neither will David or Carmen or the 37 other people whose jobs are classified as operational overhead. They'll just get termination notices. 2 weeks severance if they're lucky. Evelyn feels something uncomfortable settle in her chest. You don't know their names, James continues. But I do. Not because I'm special. Because I work beside them. I hear about Maria's son who needs surgery. I listen to David talk about his retirement plans. I watch Carmen save every penny to send home. So you spoke up to save their jobs, Evelyn says slowly. I spoke up to give you time, James corrects. Time to freeze the merger properly. Time to protect the workers before the lawyers start calculating losses. Because when executives panic, the people at the bottom always pay first. The truth of it hits Evelyn like cold water. This isn't the first time, is it? She asks. You've done this before. James is quiet for a moment. Then, 6 months ago, your company was planning to outsource building maintenance. The contract would have eliminated 43 positions. I left an anonymous memo on your COO's desk outlining the liability risks and hidden costs. The plan was shelved. Evelyn's eyes widen. That was you. Last year, there was a safety violation in the parking structure. Faulty wiring that could have caused a fire. The maintenance supervisor ignored it to save budget. I made sure the fire marshal received an anonymous tip. The wiring was fixed. No one was hurt. How many times? Evelyn whispers. Does it matter? James asks. I don't do it for recognition, Ms. Hartwell. I do it because someone has to see the people you don't. Evelyn sits down on the steps again, her mind reeling. Her entire leadership philosophy is crumbling around her. She's always prided herself on being a strong CEO, on making tough decisions, on driving shareholder value. But she never asked what those decisions cost, or who paid the price. You think I'm a terrible person, she says quietly. I think you're a person who stopped looking, James replies. Most powerful people do. It's easier to run a company when you don't have to see the faces of the people your decisions hurt. That's not fair. Maybe not, James says. But it's true. Outside the stairwell, the gala continues. Music drifts through the walls. Laughter. The clink of glasses. A party celebrating a merger that will never happen. What am I supposed to do? Evelyn asks, and for the first time in years, she genuinely doesn't know the answer. You freeze the merger, James says simply. You protect the workers first, shareholders second. You make a decision that costs you money but saves people. You lead like someone who understands that power is a responsibility, not a trophy. Evelyn looks up at him. And if I do that, if I freeze the merger and protect the workers, will you disappear again? James nods slowly. I have to, because of the people hunting you. Because invisibility is the only safety I have left. Evelyn stands, straightening her gown. Something has shifted in her. She looks different now, quieter, more grounded. "I'm going to fix this," she says firmly. "The merger, the workers, all of it. And I'm going to make sure you're protected while I do." "Ms. Hartwell, you risked your life to protect my employees," Evelyn interrupts. "The least I can do is return the favor." James studies her face. "You don't owe me anything." "Yes," Evelyn says quietly. "I do. I owe you an apology. I owe you respect. And I owe you a chance to disappear safely instead of being hunted because you tried to do the right thing." For a moment, something like gratitude flickers across James's face. Then his expression hardens. Someone's coming. Evelyn hears it too. Footsteps in the corridor outside. Heavy, deliberate. Not the click of heels or the shuffle of guests. Something else. James moves to the door, his body language shifting into something trained and alert. "How many security personnel do you have at this event?" 12, Evelyn says. "Why?" "Because there's a 13th person moving through this building like they belong here." James's voice is calm but urgent. "And they're looking for something, or someone." Evelyn's blood runs cold. "How do you know?" "Because I've spent 15 years recognizing predators," James says quietly. "And one just walked into your gala." The footsteps grow closer. A shadow passes outside the stairwell door, and Evelyn realizes that saving the merger is no longer her biggest problem. Because whoever erased James Perez 15 years ago might have just found him. And this time, there's nowhere left to hide. The shadow pauses outside the stairwell door. Evelyn holds her breath. James's hand moves to the door handle, his posture coiled. "How many exits from this floor?" 3, Evelyn whispers. "Main stairs, service elevator, emergency exit on the east side." "The emergency exit. Can you access it without being seen?" "Yes, but..." "Go there. Now, don't go back to the ballroom." "I'm not leaving you." James turns sharply. "Ms. Hartwell, if this is what I think it is, your presence makes it worse. Go. Now." But before Evelyn can move, her phone buzzes. Security. Unidentified male, 3rd floor. No guest credentials. Claims to be building maintenance. Doesn't match any roster. Advising immediate interception. Evelyn shows James the screen. His face doesn't change, but his eyes go cold. "Maintenance cover. It's how I do it too." "Do what?" "Get close to a target without raising alarms." The footsteps move past the stairwell door, heading toward the ballroom. James cracks the door open slightly, watching. Evelyn peers over his shoulder. A man in a gray maintenance uniform walks purposefully down the corridor. Mid-40s, athletic build. He carries a toolbox, but his eyes scan doorways, alcoves, security cameras. Professional, methodical. "That's not building maintenance," James says quietly. "How can you tell?" "The way he walks. He's not looking for broken equipment. He's looking for someone." Evelyn feels ice spread through her chest. "You." James doesn't answer. He just watches the man disappear around a corner. "I need to get you out of here," Evelyn says urgently. "If someone's hunting you." "They've been hunting me for 15 years, James interrupts calmly. "This is just the first time they got close." "How did they find you?" "I don't know," James admits. "I've been careful. No digital footprint, no patterns. But tonight I broke protocol. I spoke publicly. I drew attention." Evelyn's guilt crashes over her. "Because I forced you to speak. Because I humiliated you in front of cameras." "No," James says firmly. "I chose to speak. That's on me." Her phone buzzes again. Multiple messages now. Security is mobilizing. The unidentified man is being tracked. But he's moving fast, weaving through the building like he knows the layout. He knows where the cameras are. Evelyn realizes, studying the security updates. He's avoiding them. Which means he's had time to study this building, James says. This wasn't spontaneous. He's been planning this. Planning what? To kill you. James finally looks at her, and the truth in his eyes is worse than she imagined. The people I testified against, he says quietly, they don't just want revenge. They want to send a message. If I'm found dead in a high-profile location, a charity gala, surrounded by New York's elite, it tells other whistleblowers what happens when you talk. Evelyn's hands are shaking. We call the police. Now. And tell them what? That a man in a maintenance uniform is suspicious? By the time they respond, it's over. These people work fast. Then what do we do? James thinks for a moment, his mind working through scenarios. How quickly can you get to your head of security? 2 minutes. Maybe less. Tell him to lock down the building. No one in or out. Frame it as a security protocol, suspicious package, threat assessment, whatever. But trap him inside. And then we disappear. James looks at her steadily. Both of us. Because if he's here for me, and you've been seen with me, you're a witness. You're a target now too. The weight of his words settles over Evelyn like a shroud. She's not just a CEO anymore. She's not just dealing with a failed merger. She's standing between a whistleblower and the people who want him dead. And outside the stairwell, the hunter is getting closer. Evelyn makes a decision. She pulls out her phone and types rapidly to her head of security. Code Orange. Potential security threat. Lock down all exits. Do it quietly. No panic. The response is immediate. Confirmed. Initiating lockdown. ETA 90 seconds. James nods. Smart. Now what? Now we move. Stay close. Stay quiet. And if anything happens, nothing's going to happen. Evelyn interrupts. I'm not letting you die in my building. James looks at her, and something shifts in his expression. Respect, maybe, or recognition. All right, Ms. Hartwell. Let's see how good your security really is. They slip out of the stairwell, moving through service corridors Evelyn hasn't walked in years. James navigates like he owns the place because he does. He knows every corner, every camera, every hiding spot. Behind them, somewhere in the building, a hunter moves through shadows. And ahead of them, locked doors are beginning to close. The gala has become a trap. The question is, who's caught inside? Evelyn and James reach her executive office on the 20th floor. She closes the door, locks it, and leans against it, breathing hard. He's still in the building, she says, checking her phone. Security has eyes on him. 3rd floor, moving toward the service areas. He's looking for maintenance routes, James says. Places where janitors work. Where I'd be. Evelyn's mind is racing. If security corners him, if they question him, he'll have credentials, James interrupts. Fake but convincing. And if they push too hard, people will get hurt. These aren't amateurs. So what do we do? James looks at her directly. You give them what they want. I'm not giving them you. Not me, James says. A decoy. Evelyn doesn't understand at first. Then it clicks. You want me to publicly discredit you, she says slowly. I want you to make me irrelevant, James corrects. Right now, I'm a threat because I know too much. But if you go public, if you tell everyone I'm just a confused janitor who overheard fragments of conversations and misunderstood them, they won't believe it, Evelyn protests. You were too accurate, too specific. Then make them believe someone else fed me the information, James says calmly. Blame a consultant, a disgruntled former employee, anyone, but make me the messenger, not the source. Make me forgettable again. Evelyn stares at him. That'll destroy your credibility. Everyone will think you're a fraud. Good, James says simply. Frauds aren't worth hunting. The logic is brutal and brilliant. Evelyn pulls out her phone, opens her messaging app. I'll need to coordinate with PR. They'll want a statement, a narrative. Make it fast, James says, and make it convincing. Whoever's downstairs won't wait long. Evelyn types rapidly, crafting a message to her communications director. Incident at Gala. Janitor caused disruption with false information likely fed by external agitator. Prepare statement dismissing claims. Need damage control now. The response comes within seconds. On it. Media already asking questions. What's the angle? Evelyn looks at James. He nods once. She types, angle. Confused employee, manipulated by disgruntled former consultant who had access to partial information. Consultant being identified. Employee will not be charged mental health concerns. Play sympathetic but firm. Brilliant. Her communications director responds. Drafting now. James watches her work, impressed despite himself. You're good at this. I'm good at protecting things that matter, Evelyn says quietly. I just haven't always known what matters. Within 10 minutes, the narrative is live. Evelyn posts a statement on the company's social channels. Tonight's disruption was caused by a well-meaning but confused employee who was fed partial information by an unnamed individual seeking to destabilize our merger. We're investigating the source. The employee will receive support, not punishment. We remain committed to transparency and integrity. The media picks it up immediately. Headlines start forming. Janitor's Gala disruption? Manipulation or misunderstanding? James's credibility evaporates in real time. Within an hour, he's a punchline again. Confused man. Someone to pity, not fear. It's working, Evelyn says, monitoring the response. You're no longer a threat. You're a victim. Good, James says. Now for the second part. Second part. The false source. You need to feed them someone to chase. Evelyn hesitates. You want me to frame someone? I want you to redirect the hunt, James says firmly. If they're looking for the real source, they need to believe they've found it. Evelyn thinks quickly. There's a consultant we fired 6 months ago, Martin Krebs. He had access to some deal structures. He left angry, threatened legal action, then went quiet. He'd be believable. Perfect, James says. Leak his name to security. Make it look like he's the insider who fed me information. Evelyn sends another message, this one to her head of security. Potential source identified. Martin Krebs, former consultant, had access to merger details. Recommend immediate follow-up. The response. Confirmed. Will pursue. James nods slowly. That should buy time. And what happens to Krebs when they investigate him? He'll have lawyers, James says. He'll have alibis. Eventually, the trail will go cold. But by then, I'll be gone. The words hit Evelyn hard. Gone. You mean disappeared? I mean exactly that. Where will you go? Somewhere else. Somewhere no one looks twice at a janitor. James stands, preparing to leave. It's what I do, Ms. Hartwell. It's all I've done for 15 years. Evelyn feels something tighten in her chest. You're leaving tonight. I have to. The lockdown won't hold forever. And once it lifts, you disappear. Evelyn finishes. And I'll never see you again. James meets her eyes. That's how this works. They stand there for a moment, two people who started the night as strangers and ended it as something else. Not quite allies, not quite friends, but bound by a truth that changed them both. Thank you, Evelyn says quietly, for tonight, for the warning, for teaching me something I should have learned years ago. James nods once. Protect your workers, Ms. Hartwell. Remember their names. See them. That's all I ask. I will, she promises. I swear it. James walks to the door, pauses. One more thing. The merger, freeze it. Do it yourself. Frame it as prudence. Your board will resist, but you'll protect the workers and save your reputation. Consider it done. James opens the door, then looks back one final time. "You're better than you think you are, Ms. Hartwell. You just needed to remember why you started." And then he's gone, slipping into the service corridor like a ghost. Invisible again. Evelyn stands alone in her office, her phone buzzing with crisis updates and media inquiries. But for the first time in years, she doesn't feel powerful. She feels awake. The next morning, Evelyn Hartwell stands before a hastily assembled press conference. Cameras flash. Reporters lean forward. After careful review and consultation with our board, Evelyn says, her voice steady, "I've made the decision to freeze the Hartwell-Novex merger pending further regulatory clarity. This decision was made in the interest of prudence, shareholder protection, and most importantly, the protection of our workforce." The room erupts with questions. "Ms. Hartwell, sources say you were warned about the merger by..." "There was an incident last night," Evelyn interrupts smoothly. "It's been addressed. Our focus now is on responsible leadership, not sensationalism." "What about the alleged security threat at the gala?" "Security protocols were initiated as a precaution. The situation was resolved without incident. No guests were in danger." She's lying, of course, or at least shading the truth. But some lies protect more than they harm. Behind the cameras, Evelyn's CFO pulls her aside during a break. "The board is furious. You're costing us millions." "I'm saving us billions in liability," Evelyn counters. "And I'm protecting 1,200 jobs. That's leadership. That's career suicide." "Maybe," Evelyn says calmly, "but I can live with it." The CFO walks away, shaking his head. Later that afternoon, Evelyn receives a secure message from her head of security. Unidentified mail from last night, traced to false credentials. No physical apprehension. Suspect left building during lockdown using service access. No current location. The hunter got away, but so did James. Evelyn stares at the message, then deletes it. That evening, she sits alone in her office, looking out at the city. The merger is frozen. The workers are safe. The board is angry, but they'll adapt. That's what boards do. Her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Then she does. "Ms. Hartwell." The voice is James's, barely a whisper. "James." Relief floods through her. "Are you safe?" "For now. I wanted you to know the decoy worked. They're chasing Krebs. He's threatening lawyers, denying everything. It's a mess, but it's keeping them busy." "Where are you?" "Somewhere else." "That's all you need to know." Evelyn nods, even though he can't see her. "Will you stay safe?" "I'll try. You did the right thing, Ms. Hartwell." "The workers. They'll remember it, even if they never know why." "I'll remember too," Evelyn says quietly. "I'll remember you." There's a pause. Then, "Take care of them. That's all I ask." "I will. I promise." The line goes dead. Evelyn sits in the silence, holding the phone long after the call ends. James Perez is gone. Erased again. Invisible again. But the impact he left behind is real. Permanent. And Evelyn Hartwell, CEO, leader, person, will never be the same. 3 months later, Evelyn Hartwell walks through the executive corridors of her building, briefcase in hand, mind occupied with quarterly projections and board presentations. The merger freeze cost her political capital, but the company stabilized. No mass layoffs, no panic, just steady, careful leadership. She passes the break room and notices something new on the bulletin board, a flyer for the company's first ever worker advisory council. Her idea, her initiative, a formal channel for maintenance staff, security, cafeteria workers, people whose voices were never heard before, to participate in company decisions. It's a small thing, but small things matter. She continues down the hallway, her heels clicking against polished floors. The building is quiet this early. Dawn light streams through tall windows. Then she hears it. A soft, rhythmic sound. Wheels on tile. The gentle roll of a cleaning cart. Evelyn stops. She turns slowly. A janitor rounds the corner, pushing a gray cart loaded with supplies. Navy uniform, head down, moving with quiet efficiency through space most people never notice. For a moment, just a heartbeat, Evelyn's breath catches. But it's not him. Of course it's not him. This janitor is younger, different build, different walk. Not James Perez. James is gone. Somewhere else. Somewhere safe, she hopes. The janitor glances up, sees her watching. "Morning, Ms. Hartwell," he says politely. Evelyn blinks, realizing she's been staring. "Good morning," she replies. Then, before she can stop herself, "What's your name?" The janitor looks surprised. "Roberto, ma'am. Roberto Diaz." "How long have you worked here, Roberto?" 3 years. "Do you like it?" He seems genuinely taken aback by the question. Yes, ma'am. It's good work. Steady." Evelyn nods slowly. "If you ever have concerns about hours, safety, anything, use the Worker Advisory Council. That's what it's for." Roberto's face brightens slightly. "I heard about that. Thank you, Ms. Hartwell. It means a lot. To all of us." "You're welcome, Roberto." He continues down the hallway with his cart, and Evelyn watches him go. She sees him now, really sees him, not as background, not as invisible, as a person with a name, a life, a story that matters. It's a small shift, but small shifts change everything. Later that morning, Evelyn receives an envelope on her desk. No return address, just her name written in neat, careful handwriting. Inside is a single sheet of paper. "Dear Ms. Hartwell, I read about the Worker Advisory Council. Thank you. People like Maria, David, and Carmen, they're safer because of what you've built. That matters more than you know. I don't know if I'll ever stop moving, but I hope you'll keep seeing. Invisibility is only weakness to those who refuse to look." A friend. No signature. Nothing traceable. But Evelyn knows who sent it. She folds the letter carefully and places it in her desk drawer, where it will stay. A reminder of the night she learned the difference between power and leadership, between authority and responsibility, between seeing people and truly seeing them. Outside her window, the city moves on. Millions of people, most of them invisible to those who hold power. But Evelyn Hartwell sees them now. And somewhere out there, in another building, another city, another life, James Perez pushes a cleaning cart through empty hallways. Still invisible, still listening, still protecting people who don't know they need protecting. Because some heroes don't wear capes or seek recognition. Some heroes wear navy uniforms and carry folded towels. Some heroes disappear into crowds and choose invisibility over glory. And some nights, when Evelyn walks these corridors alone and hears the sound of wheels on tile, she remembers the janitor who taught her the most important lesson of her life. The measure of a leader isn't how well they command those who follow them. It's how well they see those they've overlooked. And in remembering, she honors the man she mocked, the man who saved her, the man who sacrificed everything so others could be safe, the man who proved that invisibility isn't weakness. It's a choice, a sacrifice, a quiet kind of courage that most people will never understand. But Evelyn Hartwell understands now, and she'll never forget. If this story moved you, if it made you see the invisible people in your own life differently, share it. Remember the Mariahs, the Davids, the Carmens. Remember the people who clean your offices, guard your buildings, serve your meals. They have names. They have stories. They matter. Rate this story out of 10 and let me know what resonated with you most. Your feedback helps me bring you more stories that matter.